our tale of the tape for this, our main event of the evening. Bader, the champion, Nemkov, the challenger.
Chief Mohican Tribe, Lynn Malerba, and director, Mr. Mike Mazzulli. And now, introducing first, the blue corner. At 6 foot, weighing in 203.9 pounds. Entering his first Bellator world title fight, he brings 11 professional victories, just 2 losses. From Staryosko, Russia, presenting the challenger, Vadim Nemkov. And across the cage, the champion fights out of the red corner. At 6'2", weighing in 204 pounds even, the reigning 2-weight class Bellator world champion in his second defense of his light heavyweight strap tonight stands with 27 professional victories, 5 defeats. From Gilbert, Arizona, the defending Bellator light heavyweight world champion, Ryan Bader. And when the action begins, your referee, Kerry Hatley.
Ryan Bader, Vadim Nemkov. John, you talked about the age, the experience. I bet if you asked Ryan Bader, who's better, the 37-year-old version or the 27-year-old version, Ryan would say the 37-year-old version.
No doubt about it, he'd be right.
Here we go! Tonight's Fight Clock brought to you by Geico, the champion in the red gloves, the challenger in the blue gloves. Fight schedule for 5 5-minute rounds. Bader with the combination. John, you talked about in your keys that he cannot let Nemkov move him backwards, push him back. And that's what Nemkov talked about, taking, like, maybe a little bit of what Anthony Rumble Johnson did against Ryan Bader.
Yeah, there's no doubt, if you watch Ryan Bader's fights, he is comfortable coming forward, but to fight going backwards, just is a lot of his offense just dissipates. So if Nemkov can force him backwards, that's going to take away a lot of the offensive attack from Ryan Bader.
Early in his career, the knock on Bader was that anytime you were able to bully him around the cage, he had problems. He's remedied that with confidence in winning fights and winning world championships. But can he do that against someone like Nemkov?
He's been nothing short of spectacular since his move to Bellator.
Well, one of the things that I thought was going to be something that's going to be different for Ryan in this fight is he's been fighting heavyweights, and it's just a fact. Heavyweights are not as fast as the light heavyweights, and so is the speed of Nemkov going to be a problem for him in the beginning of this fight? He's now facing off against a guy that has the speed that he has had the advantage of in all his prior heavyweight fights.
I also said the whole week, Ryan Bader to me is better in the heavyweight division. And him having to make this cut down, he said he's felt great. He said he looked really good. He felt good in camp. But this all doesn't translate sometimes in a fight against someone who is young at 27 years old, reaching their prime.
Nice combination landed by Nemkov.
Josh, that brings us back to kind of the hybrid heavyweight conversation that we had earlier with Nemkov's teammate, Valentin Moldovsky. That said, don't forget, the majority of the career of Ryan Bader has been spent at 205. His first heavyweight fights were basically in the Heavyweight World Grand Prix.
But at heavyweight, he's just so much more athletic than everybody in that division. You know, so that he's able to utilize his speed with his stand-up. He's able to power double guys and get them down. And when he does get them down, they just can't get up. We saw that with Matt Mitrione. This is the problem he's having right now. John pointed to it and alluded to this, is that it's the speed factor. He's not used to dealing with the guys that are back down at 205 that have speed.
Well, he's dealing with the top contender in Vadim Nemkov. His toughest test at 205.
But Ryan did point out throughout this whole week, the one thing he wants to do is drag this fight into the deep waters. He wants to get him into that third and fourth and fifth round and see where he fights there. Because like he said in the Phil Davis fight, he slowed down a lot in that third round.
Well, he's absolutely right. Like I've been around Vadim Nemkov since he was an amateur. Did his amateur title fight in Russia. And I was the referee for his first professional loss. And it was a loss that it was a 10-minute round, but he beat up his opponent for the entire round. But he exhausted himself in doing it and wasn't able to get rid of him. And at the end of the round, he couldn't get off of the mat, and that's how the fight ended. He didn't take any damage. But this is what Ryan needs to do right here. Put Nemkov on his back. This is very important for Ryan Bader right now. Keep him there.
And the last time Nemkov was defeated was in a 10-minute first-round fight.
Very nice. He has good wrist control here. He was doing a good job of turning to his side to try and elevate to get to the armbar or the triangle.
Vadim Nemkov told us that he spent some time training with the Russian national freestyle team at the Russian Olympic Training Center. He said it casted any doubts I had about my wrestling skills.
Well, he just showed you on the ground. Everything he was doing was what you want to see out of something. You saw how he was turning to one side of his hips or to the other. He was creating positions that he was able to move his body easily, pushing Bader back, making it to where Bader's having to bring his arms over the top. Not an easy thing to do.
Nemkov's shaking that one off. And you feel like this could end with one strike.
At AutoZone, you get what you need.
In the corner of Ryan Bader, they said you had him a couple of times. The family
All right, here we go, gentlemen. Round
looking
two.
to cheer him on.
Good work.
Family watching. And we begin round number 2. Bader and Nemkov. Round 1, back and forth. Big John, how do you score?
It was a close round, but if you take a look at what happened in the round and who landed the cleaner, better shots, it was Vadim Nemkov. In my opinion, he gets the round.
Josh, you concur?
I concur.
We're like medical men now.
Yeah, well, he got upset when I didn't ask him earlier in the prelims as well, so don't want him mad at me.
I'm really into this fight. What'd you say?
Oh,
That's a clean shot.
yep.
Ryan Bader's got the power. The issue that I have with what he's doing right now is he keeps lunging in with the
Oh, he got hurt. He got stunned right there, Josh.
I saw him walk back a little bit as well. The speed has been the factor. Speed kills. We talk about this all the time, John.
Big swing and a miss by
Going
Nemkov.
straight back. Every time that Nemkov is throwing, instead of stepping off to the side, you're seeing Ryan start to go.
You're saying there was an eye poke.
Ready? Okay, here we go. Time in.
Ryan should take more time right there and clear himself out.
He's ready, right back at it.
Looked like he caught just the edge of the glove.
Might have been the glove itself, not an actual finger.
Where the glove opens up into the finger, and sometimes there's a little tassel that's there, and sometimes it'll catch the eye.
Randy Couture knows all too well about that.
Ryan Bader needs to not lean his body, his upper body back. He needs to shuffle his feet back and then circle out. And he's having a hard time with that speed right now.
One of the things we talked about, Ryan cannot go backwards in this fight. He needs to force Nemkov to go backwards, and Nemkov is forcing Ryan to fight going backwards.
Nemkov looking very good thus far. Good movement, good speed, explosiveness.
I think also what Ryan Bader needs to do is get on the wrestling a little bit more. Make him be fearful of the wrestling.
Not one time is, one of my keys to victory. That blast double, he's so good at it and is changing the levels with it. But, it's easy to say he needs to do it, but he's feeling something out of Nemkov.
Oh, big impact kick.
He's done.
It's done.
It's over.
Can he survive. Bader trying to hold on.
Wow, Ryan Bader is tough.
Ryan Bader trying to get back up.
Ryan's trying to hold on here.
My
Doing
goodness.
everything he can, grabbing gloves, everything. I don't blame him. He's in deep trouble here. There's too much time left on this clock. He's taking a lot of shots.
He's up, at least for now, though.
It's done.
That's it.
It is all over! Vadim Nemkov is the new Bellator light heavyweight champion!